In this world, people have words. Religious people have words. The world is full of influences of words. And words are very deceptive. Well, even when we watch politicians, what does politicians really truly do? Let's think about this for a moment. They go around to different providences, cities, states, townships, and they basically do two things: beg for votes and beg for money. And then they lay claims with all these begging for votes and begging for money that by the time they get to Washington, they're going to do something. And of course, this do something means that they put forth the illusion that they're going to represent you some way, somehow. And then when they finally get up there, you find out that they get turned and they're not representing your best interests or mine. As a matter of fact, they're representing the interests of those who are the highest payers and contributors to their independent cause. And you have to understand, if you have a senator that's coming from a particular state, and the state is only giving him $100,000 a year, and then you have a corporation through campaign contributions that is contributing under the table millions of dollars, who you think that politician really truly is going to represent? You know, it would be nice if every politician, like NASCAR and MotoGP and Formula One, it would be nice if they could wear patches and put stickers on their suits so they can really truly show us all who they're representing. Now, I had to go the natural way first in order to get us to the spiritual understanding. In this walk in faith, you can go on YouTube all day long, and you know what you'll see? You'll hear a lot of people who have words. And they will have you to believe, literally, that they are doers of the word. But when you watch their lifestyle, when you listen to them and you watch the function and the way they live, it actually tells you what they really truly believe. The Bible says in Romans 2:13, it says, "For not the hearers of the law are just before Yahweh, but the doers of the law shall be justified." In other words, people can hear the law all day long, and they can rehearse it and recite it to you all day long. I teach people in this ministry right here, you pay attention to what people say, but don't be deceived by it. You watch what they do, and you'll find out what they believe. Because people can tell you a lot of things, and people are vain today. They can have you to believe that they hung the moon. They have you to believe that they're this great, extraordinary person and stuff. But when you watch what they do and what they do not do, it tells you not only what they believe, but it tells you the type of people who they are. Because, a lot of times we read this word and we get tunnel vision. Because there are a lot of people out there that they say and you hear. And because if you don't know the word, you're not going to hold these people to their word if you yourself are blinded to yourself and you are not a doer. And that's one of the greatest epidemics that we have, even in ministry, all across the board, is that we have a lot of people that want to get out and talk. A lot of people want to preach. A lot of people want to minister. But people literally don't want to live this word. They don't want to do it. Now, if they do it, they want to do stuff like, for instance, okay, I'll give you an example of doing the law. Let's just go with the 10 Commandments, okay? Love Yahweh. Okay, good. They do that. That's fine and good. Okay. Do not commit adultery. Good. Don't mess around with no man's wife. Good. That's fine. That's fine and good. Do not steal. Good. Okay. Now they're fine and good. But when it comes to the next level of faith, to where you are demonstrating what you believe, you find out that these people are really truly not the doers that they claim to be. For instance, heal the sick. cast out devils. Physically come out of her, my people. Remove yourself from the unclean thing. Ooh. You see, the ancient Hebrews were what would be considered to be a nomad people. They were people, they were farmers. They were shepherds. And of course, in the book of Genesis, it says that every shepherd is an abomination to the Egyptians. So you have a lot of people today claiming to be Hebrews, claiming to be Israelites, yet they have no direction, no drive, no ambition to make changes in their life because they're comfortable with the city environment. Oh, I know we're in captivity and stuff, but hey, now we're enjoying the best captivity, or at least the best portion of captivity that we've ever had. At least we have civil rights to where we are afforded certain liberties to where we can move geographical locations. But you know the reason why people do not do that? Because it takes not hearing, it takes physically doing. And therein lies the real true faith of individuals. So, and then these same people want to preach to you the law, want to preach to you the prophets, want to tell you what the Messiah said. You can't see any fruit in their lives. James covers this very well. He says, but be ye doers of the word, doers of the word. And I gave you a good analogy, and not hearers only. So guess what? All the people that are lazy, complacent, slothful, apathetic, and lethargic, it's easy. I deal with saints all day long, and I tell them, do this, do this, do this. And many times I tell them 4 or 5 times and they still do not do. And I'm like, damn it, can you hear what I'm saying? And they won't do it. For instance, buy books, study. And you know, it's easy to go buy the books, but if you don't study them, then guess what? Have you become a doer of the word? Have you really truly become a doer of the word? Hell no. That's the reason why you see no fruit in their lives. I tell people, get out there and physically put a shovel in your hand and move this dirt, and then you'll be able to understand the reason why the Father has told you by the sweat of your brow. Because if you do not adopt the Hebrew attitude and perspective of doing, you'll never be able to understand. You see, we live in a world where we love to pay Federal Reserve notes somebody else to do what we should be doing ourselves. And I don't mind telling you, I have a lot of people that are full of envy. You know, just like the scribes and Pharisees were full of envy against the Messiah. I have a lot of people that are full of envy because myself and the brethren that are here straightway, we are doers. Are we at the place we need to be? No, I don't think we're ever going to obtain that place until the Messiah comes and makes up the hedge. But at least one thing, we are doers. That's why I don't concern myself about people out there who are trying to pass judgments and they're still sitting in these population centers and they're still renting homes from the goyim out there, and they're not free whatsoever at all, and they're still borrowing, and they're becoming slaves to the ones that lend. I don't pay attention to these folks. Yeah, are we supposed to? You know, when Christ had the disciples and he sent them out 2 by 2, and he told them to go preach the gospel of the kingdom, they were on the outskirts of the population centers, and they went into cities, to towns to buy meat. They went in to minister. They went in to preach. They went in to teach. But go and read it for yourself in the New Testament. You'll see that the fellowship of the saints of the Most High Yah consisted of being in homes, literal homes, houses. And many times they were hiding because of the persecution has become so great. And anyone that chooses to follow this Bible, you're going to receive a lot of persecution because you're different than the people in the world. But look what else James says, James 1:22. But be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. So there are a lot of people out there that are deceived in their doctrine, deceived in their religion, because they have words but they really truly don't have doing. They don't mind paying somebody else to do what they can physically do, but because they're too lazy, too lethargic, too apathetic, too slothful, and you go on with the superlatives, and they think if they pay somebody else to do it, that they have actually done the deed, but they haven't. They have not understood the principles, the Hebrew principles that Yah's given us as the people. He says, if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer. Now you pay attention. You watch these people. People hear, and a lot of people got a lot to say, but you need to pay attention to the things that these people do. I hear what they're saying, but do they do? Do they do? Are they doers? And you're going to find out after you get your vision centered in on that a lot of these people are not doers. They're full of hot air. James 1:23, for if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. Well, what do you mean? For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. Well, let's go over here and read the scriptures version of that passage and let's see what it says. Start at the James 1:21. Therefore put away all filthiness and overflow of evil, and receive with meekness the implanted word. See, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to implant the word in you. And it should be able to, you should easily be able to receive the word that I am preaching to you and let it sink down into your ears. Because when you see this preacher right here, I'm not just out here running my lips and bumping my gums. But when you go back and look at the archives of my videos and stuff, you can see that I'm a doer of the word. And that solidifies what I really truly believe. So the words is lining up with my lifestyle. And you people need to really truly get this, because if you don't, you're going to continue to be deceived. Look what it says, which is able to save your lives, and become doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. So if you are only hearing the word and you do not have a performance of doing, then you are in the ultimate deception. Because if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man who looks at his natural face in a mirror. For he looks at himself and goes away and immediately forgets what he was like. And that's what people are doing today. But he that looketh into the perfect Torah, that of freedom, because the law is freedom. And you have so many people who don't understand the Torah, because we have had a lot of influences. We have had people who have placed my people into captivity, translate our manuscripts, give it to us, and then teach us. And we believe what they said, and we're wondering why come we're still the ass and not the head. And then we wonder why we don't own anything. Because we will not do what the Bible says. I don't mind telling you. It sure is a wonderful thing. It sure is a wonderful thing that if the electric go out, we can still function here for years without electricity on straightway and never miss a beat. Have a hot meal every day if we so choose. Are you afforded that liberty? Are you? You're not going to be afforded that liberty if you do not do. If you depend on the Gentiles to make housing for you, accommodations for you, and you're not making moves to become independent so you can have some form of liberty and freedom, you're in bondage. It's just the truth. But he that looketh into the perfect Torah, that of freedom, and continues in it, not becoming a hearer that forgets, but a doer of the work, this one shall be blessed in his doing of the Torah. And that's why I can say straightway, and everyone that is affiliated with us is blessed, because not only did they hear, but their hearing produced fruit. They become doers. You hear that? So if anyone among you thinks he is religious and does not bridle his tongue, but deceives his own heart, this one's religion is worthless. So you hear all these people out there who seem to have a similitude or conviction of religion, or they say they love Yahweh, and yet they cannot control their tongue, especially women. They can't control their tongue. The Bible says that their heart is deceived. And whatever they say is literally, truly worthless. So if you don't see people doing what they believe, and you have to watch people very carefully today, because people avoid certain subjects in the Bible because they're not doing it. I tell you, we're up against a gauntlet. I hope you have ears to hear. That's all I can say. I'm a man in authority, and I'm a man under authority. And as a man in authority, and if I tell people after living this thing, living 20 years, living, we have animals, we have chickens, we have cows, we have goats, we have, I don't know if we have sheep anymore. Don't know. But anyway, hey, homes, tractors, lands, gardens, we hunt, butcher, dress, build. I can go on and on and on. We do this for your edification, exhortation, and comfort, so you may be able to experience freedom. Now you see the reason why I too much don't care about all those who have fancied themselves my judges. If I look into their life and I can't see any fruit, I'll be a fool to listen to them, and so would you.